Hey everyone, Chris here. We are in my cabin, which is something I don't share very often, mostly because it's usually a disaster area. But today was laundry day. I did my bedding, and it was bad. I skipped last month. It's because I don't remember why, but it was bad. It was like a month and a half, and normally I try to do it every 3 weeks. But hang around with boaters long enough, and you'll learn, one, water conservation is huge. So if we're not near a marina or near a laundromat, then it doesn't happen. And then the second one is boat yoga. This isn't the fun yoga where you go to class and everybody's chummy. No, this is putting yourself in uncomfortable physical positions on the boat to do a boat job. And today I was crawling into the cave that is my bed and making my bed after tearing it apart. So I also have the bad habit of using my bed to store things. It's just the place. When we got the boat, the thought was I'd have the boys for a few years, and then this entire cabin would become storage and I'd take over the V-berth. So it's already starting to become storage. So let's see what we got in here. First, we've got the toolbox that I got. This is just a simple toolbox. She's strapped down so she doesn't fly around, and the hope is she will someday be a toolbox. Right now she's serving as my dresser. Up top in a hammock we have all the clothes that are for when it's colder. And then in this hammock over here, where I used to have more clothes, is now mostly blankets. Extra blankets for when it's cold. And let's see what else we can put in here. So I've got a whole lot of bed that I don't use, and we're gonna fill that up with stuff. That stuff is currently all over the boat, so I'm gonna go get each piece and say what it is and where it goes until I get bored, and then I'll just like jam it all in there and do a roundup. It goes at the very, very foot of my bed are 3 studio quality mics with stands with anti-vibration stuff that have seen better days. We brought out a lot in the early days. I teach media design, and my dissertation was on educational podcasting. So I did use those quite a bit, but now, since I'm only recording me, I usually just use my Apple AirPods, to be honest. It's good enough for most stuff. Anyway, let's get the next item. So we have a complete spare autopilot. We've had our autopilot fail too many times. So as we upgraded, this is everything but the computer. So all the mechanical parts that could break are in here. If it's the computer, then that was a little expensive to do. Anyway, all right, let's put this. He goes back in the corner. There we go. Next is a heavy duty sewing machine. Our old projector and our old screen still completely working, but I got the pull down screen and a much smaller projector that uses less electricity. We have a printer, some paper, some spare ink, all the stuff for when you have government forms. Because you'll be surprised how many times you're like needing to have stuff printed, and well, having a printer on the boat is actually quite helpful. Now we're finally into the fun stuff, because everybody needs a full VR set, because sometimes, you know, you're stuck in a marina and well, it's nice to play sailing video games that are really immersive. All right, next item. There we have our new projector, much smaller, more portable. Whoops, and it needs to be more like that when I close it up. There we go. And then to go with our old microphones, we have a Zoom H6, because we do good stuff. Use that since I had a serious project. All right, what's next? Oh, more media stuff. A little bit of camera gear, though I haven't used her in a while. Multiple still cameras. This one also does video. A couple of 3D cameras, and not 3D, 360 cameras. See the stuff starting to pile up. There we go. Then 1 GoPro, 2 GoPro, and 3-4 GoPros. I did mention I teach instructional media design, so a few things. And then I also teach instructional technology, so I have my regular laptop, my iPad, another iPad. This is a great thing in your bunk. So having a separate iPad above your bunk for watching the anchor alarm and other stuff like that has been really, really helpful. But then I also have a backup a PC, a backup MacBook Pro. Somewhere around here I have an old Chromebook from when I was doing instructional stuff for K-12, because K-12 does a lot of stuff with Chromebooks, or did when I was doing that. And more stuff that's coming back into my bed with me. A new bit of navigation equipment that we're going to install in July when we buy our new NavPod mounter. And there's still more. All right, here we go. I have 1 yoga block and 2 yoga blocks. 1 big yoga mat, extra thick because I'm extra big. And this is also where we hide our emergency backup paper charts. Very, very important. There we go. And I think that's it. The only thing left is stuff that's on the floor, which is a steam cleaner and some dumbbells. They're only 10 pounds. It's been a long time since I actually did any exercise. So we're getting back into that. And the dirty clothes, but they got dumped out because I needed my laundry bag for laundry today. Okay. All right, I'm still all sweaty. All right, so the dirty clothes are once again in the dirty clothes bag on my floor, which is probably not the best place for it, but it's what we got. All right, then what else do we have in here? A few random GoPro accessories that I'm just gonna toss up here. My portable tea set, stick right there. 1, 2, 3, 4 hats. And I got 2 more that I'm actively using that are out and about. So there we go. It went from a disgusting mess to just, I suppose, a disorganized, cluttery mess. But it's getting there. So everything's clean. Did I do a good job? No. But is it done? Yes. Did I live through it? I did live through it. So I think what I'm gonna do now is pour myself a glass of herbal tea, and probably my side table, because that's just stuff that randomly shows up here and none of it actually belongs there. Stuff is gonna leave the room, my tea there, and use my lovely pad that does not need to work at this moment for an anchor monitor. We can watch sailing videos. So there we are. Hope everyone is having a good day, keeping cool, and I will chat with you later. Bye.